The time is 6 PM GMT on October the 19th. The game World War III is about to be released on Steam a day after closed testing. The community is ecstatic. This is the new Battlefield, many people commented. Shut up and take my money, others yelled. Everything was looking peachy for the World War III development team. Or was it? Soldiers, we're currently experiencing some technical difficulties and we may be forced to postpone the release of World War III. We're actively working on the case and will update you ASAP. Sorry for the delay and thank you for your patience. We've made it. We've surpassed all obstacles and we are ready to give you the ultimate modern Battlefield experience. Why the hell am I using that voice? This would be the start of the game's downfall and I want you to keep an eye on that line. The ultimate Battlefield experience. It'll play a big role later on. The gates, however, were open. Everyone rushed to the stage to play this brand new early access game. And then this happened. We know that you experienced problems connecting to our servers. We are working on it. Over the next few minutes, we will upload an update which should fix the problem. This would be an understatement. No one could connect to the servers. 4 hours after the game was supposed to be open to the public, no one could even access it. You could not get past the first loading screen and the community wasn't happy, demanding refunds, questioning why they rushed the release for this game when countless content creators had stated the game simply wasn't ready for public release. So why did they release on October the 19th? Ah. Fans were growing restless. The official Discord server turned into a fucking shit show. There was back and forths between folks defending the game, people bashing the game, people leaving intelligent remarks such as early access, more like no access, and then the conspiracy theories started. Seeing as though you couldn't get into the game, you would sit on the loading screen for 5 minutes just to see if you could, on the off chance, actually get in. I did this. I spent 2 hours playing this fucking game without actually playing it. But you sat on the menu and your GPU usage would zoom up all the way to 100%, and some individuals thought the developers were mining Bitcoin. Were they? No. We are hard at work here at the office. There were no updates because we were and are focused on resolving the issues. We are deeply sorry World War III is not working right now and doing everything we can to bring you guys the game you have been waiting for. Stay tuned and bear with us. It had now been 24 hours and no one could play the game they had paid for, and this is when the argument started, the early access argument. Right, okay, so the point of the early access program is for users to pay a cheaper price to participate in an early, still in development build, thus allowing users to give feedback, report bugs, and provide the developers monetary support to continue developing the product. But you can't do that when you can't get into the game. That's just fact. But do you think a developer wants their game not to work on launch? Fuck no. So to see some morons say they wish the developers got fired, they shouldn't sleep until the issues had been fixed, guess what? They didn't! These champs stayed up for 2 straight fucking days trying to troubleshoot the problems so you guys could play.
But I want it now! My rage knows no bounds, and if I don't get this game, I will burn you with the power of 1,000 suns!
Well, yes, of course you do. You spent your hard-earned money on a product that's still in development from an indie studio with not a lot of resources and not a lot of manpower. Is it frustrating you can't play? Well, of course it is, but to belittle developers when it doesn't work perfectly straight out the gate, that's just super shitty in my opinion. And I have really lost my voice from that previous bit. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm in. I'm actually in. Look at this. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Yeah, get him. Yeah, get. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's dead. Oh, he's dead. That was a scripted voiceover. 52 hours later and I finally got into the game, so I think it's about time to explain what the hell this is, because that's the whole point of my buyer beware videos, right? So, here goes nothing. World War III is a modern military shooter which takes huge, and I mean huge, inspiration from Battlefield, and honestly, at a distance you'd be hard pressed to tell this game apart from Battlefield. Here you have access to an array of weapons, gadgets, ammo types, kill streaks, and vehicles that all perform in their own unique way. As you progress your character, you'll gain access to different weapons, attachments, armors, and cosmetic changes for your character. And this is where things get a little bit spicy. The weapon attachments in this game can be almost compared to Escape from Tarkov, although I feel EFT does them better and is a little bit more complex, and World War III has gone for this simplistic approach, which may be beneficial for some, but for me, I just prefer having to learn what works with what, and with that comes armor. And this is where the game gets quite interesting, and makes steps forward into trying to diversify it from Battlefield. In World War III, all the plates of armor you wear, whether that be in your tactical vest or the armor your helmet provides, has their own hitbox, which is actually really accurate. So for example, if you shoot a dude once in the chest, that chest armor, depending on what armor you pick and what ammo type you have, this chest armor can negate up to 95% of the damage, which is something I really like. I've heard others say this causes inconsistencies in firefights, and that's a negative trait, but I'd argue it's a positive one. Each encounter might be a little bit different. You'll have to learn at face value whether the dude you're shooting at is a juggernaut or a light class, and I like that, it keeps things fresh. Now the customization, and this is where the game really opens up and offers you the player a diverse amount of items to pick from to really mix and match and create your perfect soldier. From barrel attachments to under barrel attachments to side rails to sick as fuck weed skins. I don't actually think there's weed skins, but when I was playing the progression system was turned off so you had access to absolutely everything, and there's already a bunch of stuff, so to say this is their first iteration of their early access title, it's actually quite impressive how much customization items you actually have available to you. These attachments make the weapons perform in different ways, like with less recoil and magnified scopes. I've heard from others that the in-game currency takes a hell of a long time to acquire, which is worrisome. Whenever a pay-to-play game has a long grind in a multiplayer setting, there's always that worry of the dreaded microtransactions. But hopefully, fingers crossed, it's a progression balance issue that'll get sorted with more testing. As a bit of an audiophile, and having studied music for many years, here let me bust out fucking Wonderwall, I have to say probably the most disappointing and lackluster aspect of the game is its audio. The guns sound like glorified paintball guns, the footsteps are confusing to say the least, and just overall I'd say the sound effects need to be dialed to 11. They need to be beefier. I know I'm bringing this game up again, but Tarkov does gun audio best. Take a leaf out of their book. The weapons in World War III just need more oomph. This and the animations need redoing. Like, completely. The reload animations, the vaulting, the weapon switching all look like placeholder animations right now, but again, as per any early access title, this might and will hopefully get changed later on. Now visually the game doesn't look entirely bad, it actually looks pretty good, but it does look a little bit dated in my opinion. You can do some very impressive things on the Unreal Engine, and World War III just feels like it needs a little bit of a facelift, but again, doesn't look bad. I feel they're going for this hyper-realistic setting, and changes to the lighting could do really well for the game on the visual front. I find the game looking a little hazy, and especially on the snow map, but overall the visuals compared to Battlefield 3, which is where the facelift comes in, as that game came out 7 years ago. But the gun models look great, the character models are good. This all lays the foundation for the developers to build upon it further, as if they stick with it. Now, do I recommend this game? If you don't know me, I'm a huge fan of shooters. The very first game I played was the original Medal of Honor, so I've grown up with shooters. They mean a lot to me. I'm also very aware when a game isn't doing enough to diversify itself, and this, to me, although this game is fun, it's just too much like Battlefield in my opinion. Maybe this is because of early access and the finite amount of content we have right now. But shit, maybe this was their intention all along, to fill that modern Battlefield void that's been there for a while, and with all that weird controversy surrounding Battlefield 5, people are looking for a new Battlefield experience. But with the nature of early access, is this enough for people right now? I mean, comparing Farm 51, the developers and publishers of World War III, to DICE, the developers of Battlefield, it's a feat on its own. The team has done a good job to even come close to that feeling of a Battlefield game. Although, as I said, it shares too much resemblance to BF. More so aesthetically with the HUD and some UI elements, such as the enemy hit indicators, not the hit markers, but the little text that appears on screen, which is, by the way too small. What is this, a text for ants? Mechanically, I feel World War III can hold its own with the implementation of the armor and customization system. That and the game seems to want players to work together in squads to take over objectives. Yet, implementing that is a little bit more difficult. It's almost like World War III thinks that it needs to dress a certain way to fit in, which is just not the case. Could this be the new Battlefield? Well, I think it can, but I think it needs to stop trying to be like Battlefield so much. Did that make sense? That made total sense in my head. Once World War III finds its own identity, I think it can really begin to make strides within the military sim community. Until then, it does feel like a cheaper alternative to Battlefield with a little bit more depth to the combat, so I would wait until it's further along in its early access life. It is a fun time, but with the balance issues, the awful spawning system, the server issues, I think it would be better to wait this out until it's more fleshed out. But considering this is just a small development team, what they put forward looks super impressive for the size of their team. To be even close to Battlefield standards is an accomplishment on its own. They had a shitty launch and they got slated because of it, which is obviously a huge shame. First and foremost, nobody really takes Steam reviews seriously anyway, because good lord, maybe 1 out of 10 are actually worth a damn and provide constructive criticism, but unfortunately that big mixed sign on the review page is going to put a lot of people off. But hey, I guess that's a new challenge for them to overcome. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to leave a like. If you haven't already, press that subscribe button and the little bell icon to know when I upload videos. And that's pretty much it. I am so ill right now. I have the man flu and it's kicking my ass. So I'm gonna go die. I'll see you next time. Bye.